So I think the rifle's attached to the saddles on the right side, but it's not clear where that ring attaches. And these are some old ones. Wow, so this Samsung Galaxy really does not do so well at night. What are these streaks? You know, whining gets to me a little bit because there's this bee, like those bees that hover like hummingbirds, that got in my car because I left the door open, and it's in the mountains, and this bee just it was frustrated, I think, or something, from being unable to leave, and it wouldn't come over to my driver's side door because I was sitting on the seat. So I let this bee just kind of whine for like a half an hour, and it was really like kind of heart pulling. Eventually, I was like, okay, let's help you out here. I was just kind of busy sewing, and it was making this weird whine. Like I was watching it, and its wings wouldn't move, but it was making this whine sound. But when it was flying, that was another distinct louder sound, but it was making this lower sound of a whine when it was just perched on the window, um, and it's just a weird whine, and it like it made me think of like a baby crying. It was like that type of a whine, that just almost that same pitch, and that kind of pulls at the heart. You really want to help it out when something can whine like that. You know, like goats can, like baby goats or sheep can do that. You know, there's various animals that can do that whine, that sound that's so similar. It mimics a baby, and that's like I think programmed in our brains that we have to help that child out, or that particular whine. And this little bee was doing that, and I was really feeling sorry for it. But I was also curious how it could make that such a noise like that to manipulate my brain. Right, so I just finished making this embroidery on an oven mitt. I was thinking maybe I might try to sell it on YouTube or something. You can see the inside. Oop. This is the most fascinating one of the most fascinating museums, one of the most well presented, with the most amazing things I've never seen before, with all the guns and stuff, and it's free. All right, community budget. What's going on? No. Oh, yeah. Community budget center. All right, so it looks like the budget center is some kind of a thrift store. Well, I'm not sure what all that says exactly, but that's a neat name to have for a thrift store. Call it the Community Budget Center. Yeah, they take donations. It really sounds like it's more involved with the city rather than just calling it a thrift store. It really gives a different feel about the whole. I mean, it's the same thing as a thrift store, unless there's something that stands out.
Morning, how are you?
Yeah, good. Alright, just having a look around here. This track is most likely active. Just a bit of a park spot. There's no warnings. There's no warnings about crossing. I guess it's just so inactive that they don't bother. This is a track like a lot of others where they don't want you crossing, I'm sure. So this is where like Stobe Hobe would be hanging out. These little platforms. I thought I've seen them where they weren't so solid before. These are very solid. They are definite looking like good sturdy platforms you could just hang out on. You'd have to deal with a lot of wind. Yeah, it's like this. Oh, this is different. It holds the gas. Yeah, and this is different too. You just gotta find the right one. Alright, so next to Robinson Welding and Designs, we got this old train station. And it doesn't look very protected. I'm sure they discourage activity in here. Wow. So I don't know if they're doing work or if it's just falling apart. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, they put a lock up. People have decided to start breaking in, and then they didn't relock. So I don't know if I could see all around, and I don't even have my flashlight. The floor is there's no basement. It's just a raised floor. Yeah, people came in here and just started tearing off the protection. Yeah, that floor's seen better deals. Okay. See if I can get into this. There we go. Fix, report modifications. Alright. Oh, jeez. A lot of junk in here. low. It's pretty low light. So I don't have my flashlight. Yeah, actually that's showing up pretty good. It's almost darker in reality. Yeah, it's darker in reality here. Can't really see what. Bunch of Dixie cups. This is a nice concrete floor. Got the electrical box. Yeah, that shows up really good. This camera really enhances light. So I can't really imagine where how the station would be set up exactly. Nice tall ceiling. It's hard to imagine. Sure, there's old-timey pictures. It's falling apart for some reason, but it looks like somebody really smashed that hole more than anything. Rather than it just falling apart on its own. It seems like somebody smashed this with what? The bricks, yeah, it's so strange. Maybe it did fall apart on its own in this corner. All right. Oh, no, some kind of a signal tower. And they got some old-timey cars over here. All right, I'm gonna get off of the tracks. Well, it's hard to say if this really is a authentic train station or just some kind of office for the trains. It's hard to say. Man, look at that. Look at all that steam coming from the distance. Wow. I think that's the power plant. That's a lot of pollution. They say that they're pretty clean. Somebody made a comment in the Google Maps. Still, they're putting out a lot of that smoke. That's got to be a bit of a concern. Oh, you can see the engine. Okay. Can't really. This has no trespassing signs, but usually that's for inside. Quasi quilt. It may look easy, but oh brother, it's loaded with dynamite. The try line is a fine line. This game is assembled to prove it can be done. Copyright 57. It's about the age of this car. Wow. That's something else. Got all kinds of stamps on it. Mud on the belt. You got a little mud on your belt. Okay. I wonder if I could just get a look at the. Oh, they took out the dash. It's got a rusty smell to it. So this comes from an old automobile. This side is turned up, and then this side is, I think, in proper alignment. See, yeah, just flipped up. That's the part that flipped up got my attention. Just sitting in this grass.